Inspire, motivate, challenge.
Before I want to really go into the mobile thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I want to first, what you said is this is the first of its kind, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that you started in Nigeria. So
Yes.
what even made you come up with that idea to get a bus and a chair and going around?
Yeah. As I've said earlier, that I didn't know about dentistry. I was given, and if at that time I didn't know, that means a lot of people don't know. And if they don't know, they can't come to your facility for their treatments. So it's better as a dentist to take the treatment to them. So when you take the treatment to them and you educate them, then they will patronize you. And before, I did a lot of research on it. In fact, I wrote a proposal, a very good proposal. I sent it to CBN, I sent it to banks. I didn't get any support. In fact, my proposal was, I think, the fourth best during our NYC. I didn't get any support. I went to banks. I was going from banks to to finance that project. Because to bring in a mobile dental van, as at today, will cost almost 100 million. A dental van, a factory-fitted dental van from outside the country, about 100 million. And at that time was around 40 million. And of course, putting 40 million, then that was around 2009, 2010. Putting that into mobile dentistry and a virgin lad that don't even know what to, So I was going from banks to banks. I didn't get any support. It was a friend that gave me a loan of 200,000 as a deposit for the fairly used truck.
Okay.
So, and the money I realized during my NYC and all that, so I just put together to secure the bus, and I also pay parts for the dental chair. So I put the dental chair. Then the company that I got, from outside the country, they sent their brochure on how a mobile dentistry a mobile dental truck can be built. So I used that brochure to do my own, or I used to construct my own mobile dental van. So I started small and without any loan, aside the 200,000 I got from my friend. So I was doing little by little, and we're growing. And God accept us.
So when you created of course you identified the need, you created the van or the bus, the dental bus.
Okay.
So when you go around, you said you've gone to how many states now?
More than 20 states now.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
So when you go to a state, for instance, let's say you go to Abeokuta tomorrow, or a state.
Okay.
So where do you park it? And what do you say to make customers come?
Okay.
What do you do right
now? Those other states, we don't just go there. We were invited, either by an NGO or a religious organization or a politician or a philanthropist.
Okay.
In those states. But when we first started, we just parked the van because we didn't really get the strategy on how to go about. We just moved from a street, maybe a densely populated area. We just park our van, talk to people, but it wasn't really working. So we now moved to going to public schools.
Okay.
So went to public schools, talked to the teachers.
Okay.
So the teachers were coming in at a well subsidized rate. Okay. So we cover most of the public schools in Lagos. From there, some of the teachers had maybe, in their churches, they can do a dental program. So can you come to our church to do this, like that from there? And what actually made us to really grow fast was when we sent a proposal to Lagos State House of Assembly. And that time, many of the honorables were having dental issues. When they saw my proposal, they said, "Oh, wow, a dental van, come to House of Assembly." So when they were there for like 2 months, so in fact, we treated all the staff, we treated all the honorables, and that they paid. So that was what opened up the business for us. They paid, and some of the honorables. They are also from their constituencies. So they took us to their constituencies. From there, so now we have we just acquired a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter dental van.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is very expensive, but at least then we have another. So the old one. So that one is old school now. So we discarded that one. So we have a modern dental van.
And it's a Benz.
It's a Benz, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, and its new model is air conditioned, and so that's what we use. Then we have another small van that we use for small projects.
Okay. That's fantastic. So, I mean, that's intriguing. And you came up with this concept while you were in school.
Yes.
Because of the fact that you felt, okay, I don't really know much about dentistry. How do I really take it?
Oh, yes.
So you think about it in school. And you know, this is a very impressive idea. And I'm not really surprised that you could come up with something like that. And I want you to just take us back to school. Because I knew you were in school. And I knew you as the guy who did all sorts of businesses. You were an entrepreneurial guy.
Yeah.
Right, so I didn't forget. And I just want you to tell us about some of the different businesses you did. Just share with us.
Yes, I came from an humble background, you know, so I have to strive to sustain myself while in school. So when I was in 100 levels, the first thing I did was I sold a detergent. So that's why a lot of people don't even know my first name. They call me Oryx. Yeah. So the Oryx came from the detergent I sold, you know, just to survive. It was a foreign detergent. So I was going from hostels to hostels, especially female hostels, you know, so I was able to at least use that to sustain myself. So when I got to College of Medicine, so I did the first audio anatomy tape. You know,
Physiology.
you know, it was anatomy.
Oh, it was just anatomy.
Anatomy. So I did the audio tape, and you know, and I saw that at least I made some money too, and I used that to also sustain myself. And at a point too,
I mean, just so that people understand what you mean by anatomy tape, can you just? Because I know what it is, but I want you to say it so that if someone is watching, they understand what you mean.
Yeah, anatomy is one of the subjects we do as a medical student, you know, and it's voluminous, and because of the amount of the volumes that you have to read as a medical student, so a lot of medical students don't have that time, you know, so they can so one is into an audio format, so they can be doing other things. They can be cooking at the same time, be listening, you know. So that's what it is.
Because I remember this very well. Basically, what you did was you read the book and recorded yourself reading it.
Okay,
basically, like the audio books that are very popular today.
Yes.
You started the idea of audio book back then.
Yes.
And then people could now listen, right? Because I remember I actually thought you did for physiology as well. I guess it was just for anatomy. So thanks. So which other things did you do?
Then I did popcorn.
Yeah,
I did popcorn too. Then, and I was fortunate to be the welfare of the College of Medicine for like 2 years, and we did a lot of welfare secretary. So,
I know there are more.
So
we can leave it there. So I'm not surprised that you came up with such an ingenious idea as well. So. Now, now I want to go into the first mobile clinic a little bit more.
Okay.
So you came back from NYC, you started, you went around, you were able to get some networks and expand, and so so you've told us how you actually funded or how you got money. Well, now if I guess so, from all your outreaches, everything, you were able to make enough funds to actually have the brick and mortar first mobile that we are in now. Right? So it's just all your hard work and everything is paid off. And you have this very great clinic.
Yeah, by the grace of God.
Highly equipped and everything. So when did you open
this fixed link? That was last year.
Okay.
Last year, March. Yeah, he's more. Yeah, it's like a year now.
Alright. So how do you balance your time between going to the field and being in the clinic?
Yes, we have staff for field work and in-house staff for the fixed clinic. So we have many dentists working for us. So I just do supervise. Then sometimes I go to the field. Then sometimes I'm in the clinic. So, but it's not all the time that we have outreaches or field work. So whenever we're not on the field, I'm in the clinic. And of course, COVID affected our business during the COVID period. So we couldn't do outreaches. If it affected, thank God for the first clinic. So it was the first clinic that sustained us. So that sustained us, yeah. So actually, during the COVID too, I was moving the van around to treat people that had severe toothache. Yeah, I took the van, though I was well kitted. And I was doing it free.
Oh, wow.
So I did it free for people with severe cases like toothache that couldn't come in, because most of the dental clinics were shut down.
Yeah.
So
for the most part, I mean, you started it by yourself, right?
Yes.
So you're the boss now,
the chief dentist,
staff and all that. Yeah. So that's a good one. So now, like, you talked about when you were in school, right?
Yes.
You didn't want to study medicine. I mean, you wanted to study medicine, you ended up in dentistry. Now you are doing something very innovative in this space. So if you could go back in time, right? You had that opportunity, you're back in, maybe by magic, back in, and you had that option. Now you could choose. With everything that you've gone through and everything that you know now, seeing your peers who are medical doctors, surgeons, and everything, which path would you follow?
I would choose dentistry over and over and over. I would choose dentistry. I would choose dentistry over and over and over again. I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
So if there's a young person, right, watching this now, like a young person who is going to go into school, they want to study medicine or dentistry, like how would you advise them?
Well, it's it's passion. It has to do with passion. Because it's not all. It's not all of my colleagues that we started they are doing well now. It has to do with passion. And one thing I know is that for you to be successful in dentistry, you have to just create a niche for yourself. You have to, I created a niche for myself. At least all over Nigeria, they know, okay, when you talk of mobile dentistry, it's Dr. Banjo. Even I do stuff with Lagos State governments, In fact, I was actually the one that gave them the idea of mobile dentistry. It has Lagos State governments and also a toothpaste, a particular toothpaste company. So
are there other people doing mobile?
But they're not really doing it so well. They're not really doing it.
But there are other people who are
like Lagos State government too. They have their dental funds, but not really. It's and there's a lot of things, a lot involved in, So it has to do with your passion, but dentistry is very, very interesting. And of course, when in abroad, they are well paid. Well paid.
Okay, so my last question is now, like going back to young people again, younger, potential young dentists. They've seen what you've done, mobile clinic, whatever. How would somebody like that going about starting their own clinic or their own mobile? How would they even start? What would you tell them?
The market is there. The market is huge. Now, let's do this. Let's say I have 1,000 patients, 1,000 clients, and I do scaling and polish for them every 6 months, and they all, let's say even 50% of them comes for dental. 1,000 times, that is a 50% of the 1,000, that's 500 times 10,000 naira. Let's even say 5,000 naira. That's how much? That's 50,000. 50. That's 50 million. That's 500. 500 times 10,000. That's 50 million or 5 million.
500.
That's 50
5
million.
million.
Is that 5 million?
Yeah, 5 million.
Okay, that's 5 million. That's
10,000.
10.
500.
That's
That's 4.
so that's routine. That's just routine dental treatment. And if you can, so and look at the population. We're almost like 20 million in Lagos State, and 1,000 just a micro fraction of 20 million. So the market is there. So what we need to do is to create the awareness. Create the awareness. Let the dental treatment, let it be affordable. So any young dentist that is coming into dentistry, maybe want to start up a dental clinic, he shouldn't be afraid. He should start small, acquire the skill first. That person needs not to start big. Start little by little. Just get a small dental chair. Treat your patients well. So the patients have friends, have relatives and other. Word of mouth referral. From there you grow. So that's what I would tell the young dentists. They shouldn't be afraid. They shouldn't be scared of the dental. Though dental chair is very expensive, but they can come together. Like one or two young dentists can come together and set up a.
Okay, so I like what you said. You are encouraging partnership.
Yeah.
But you didn't have like a partner though.
Because I didn't have.
You didn't have people who were like interested
in partnering. Yeah.
Okay, so you encourage partnership.
Yeah, partnership we go, especially for young dentists, because to set up a dental clinic is very expensive. You have to have a space, you have to buy a dental chair, you have to buy dental materials, dental instruments and all that. Or if you can't afford that, 2 or 3 dentists can come together and set up a clinic and they have a sharing formula. And from there they'll grow. They'll grow, yeah. But I would not advise a young dentist to start looking for a loan and all that. The money they earn from their house job or support from families and friends, yes, that will help than getting a loan. It's when you have your customer, you have your customer base, then you can project, you can say, okay, yes, with my projection I can get this loan to expand. It's not when you're starting.
I know how much you're paying back.
Yes.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Banjo. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah.